well, got our eye on, I think what we are doing, what we are working with ourselves, and that is to handle the whole data explosion that we're talking about in the networks. It will be about, of course, making available the high bit rates, but also make available the high capacity everywhere you are. So we will have a combination of big sort of cell areas covering so that you have coverage everywhere, but also small pico base stations so that you have good capacity wherever you are to really get the bit rate that you are looking for. So it's sort of the combination of having good capacity and good speeds. I think what we need to know in this whole industry that we talk a lot about, there's lots of focus on all the devices, on Android, on the iPad and all these devices. And then there's a lot of talk about the cloud, how all the services will end up in the cloud. It's also very important to always remember that there's connectivity in between that is equally needed. You need all the three. You need a device, you need the connectivity, and you need the services in the cloud. So how important it is to make possible the connectivity and how that will change now with the data explosion. We have lived in a world where operators are counting voice minutes, we are building voice services. Voice will be noise. It will be the data explosion. We will have to have like 50 times, 500 times, 1,000 times as much data in the network compared to voice in the future. That means that the whole network logic is flipping upside down. It's no point counting minutes anymore. What you have to do is to know what's going on in your data pipe, and that creates a need for a smart pipe. And utilizing that also in advertising and everything, make sure that how do you charge for data? Do you charge the end consumer? Do you charge the content provider? How do you get into that when it comes to the advertising business? Well, if you go back to 2007, there was almost no data in the networks. 2009, data passed voice, and now we have 2 to 3 times as much data in the networks as we have voice. 3 to 5 years from now, there might be like 30 times as much data and voice. So that will be a very changed model. People are not using the devices to talk anymore. It's about the different kind of iPads and similar devices with big screens, flat, that you use to look into data. And basically, if you exaggerate, the PCs and the laptop are much less important. It's these iPad similar devices that you use everywhere. And if you look at it from an enterprise perspective, maybe you're given an iPad, instead of an office, you're given an iPad and all the services are in the cloud. And you are asked to go out and meet your customers. Don't spend time in the office. And the IT manager says, I don't have any IT space anymore. I put everything in the cloud. So you go out with your Slate-like device, meet your customers, and address all the services sitting in the cloud. If you're working in this space, I think there is maybe not so much I could teach you about advertising, but there are a few things maybe from a technology point of view. And first of all, the display size will be very varying. So maybe you don't have the same kind of ad for everything like you might have if you have a TV. You don't really care if people have a small TV or a large TV. It's the same TV ad everybody gets to see. In this context, maybe you should think about if this is an iPad or if it's a mobile phone that you are addressing. Also, people are looking at this device very, very often, but not all the time. So when they want to look at it, they want it to be very responsive. So maybe that's not the moment when you should download an ad. So download the ads sort of in between, in the background. When people have the phone in the pocket, that's when you should load it up with ads. When they look at it, that's when you should present the ads. Not have them wait for an ad to come down when they look at it. That will be very annoying.